Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh man, you know what? All right, my friend. All right, my friend. Check this out. Um, I'm just doing the weather report. It's about max power right now. It's max power. Um, I was just doing some thinking about some of the shit that happens with these weather modification companies and shit like that. Um, it makes me wonder, since I'm here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania right now, and I have Westinghouse right down the street. And since Westinghouse is like, it was in partnership with the current firm that you see here. They built the motors. They built the motors, and the AC power motors, whatever it was, and it went all on their bill. How many guys did they employ? Like how many guys were hired? How many were hired from Westinghouse and all the way up to current times? Because if I'm not mistaken, they still manufacture the insulators up there, and I'm not 100% certain on what else they're manufacturing right now. So Westinghouse has been here since the very beginning. Do you think Westinghouse would have some know-how in all this electrical stuff? And since GE was their direct competitor and almost took them out of business 100 years ago, do you think they're still fighting over anything right now? Because everything that branched off from Westinghouse, the power company, the power supply company, they got the nuclear reactors. The before it was nuclear, I'm probably 100% certain it was coal fire. Okay, because that's how they did the steam engine, with coal, and they burned coal and had the steam go into the brake system in the locomotives. And then the guy that got the patent for this is the one who figured out nuclear fission. And then Westinghouse went. I don't. What year was it he figured out nuclear fission, when he split an atom? Um, what year did he figure that out? So that means Westinghouse has to have a team of nuclear engineers too, because the nuclear power plant down the street should give him a phone call. You know what I mean, my friend? Give him a phone call and ask him some questions about how long has the nuclear power plant been there, and how long have they been doing it, and just call them and ask them. If I'm really lucky, I'll be able to, instead of making a phone call, well, I can use the phone, because the phone is like literally, you go, am I pointing? There's the power. This power supply comes down, drops down into the 240 transformer, and it's sitting there, and that runs to the service wires. But right below it, those are data wires, and in the middle of it, there's a street light. You see the street light there? That has to get a power supply there too, huh? And then you have the data wires that connect to the fucking power plant. What do you think, my friend? That's pretty legible there, huh? It's pretty legible. Did you hear the electrostatic discharge? Did you hear the electrostatic discharge? It appears there's somebody from the phone company over there on the side of the house right now. And I don't think he can comprehend a word out of my mouth, and if he does, he's just going to turn around and walk away. Now, is that what you would call a, for what purposes? I don't even want to go into there, because I already know what purposes it is, because now I have to start at Westinghouse that runs the nuclear power plant, because it's their machine, and then it runs the power supply for the telephone. which is the same fucking thing, don't you think, my friend? And if it's connected into the data wires and it's coming from the power supply in a power station, that means they're in the fucking transformer too, doesn't it? Hey, where's all the power supplies at the power stations? The data wires are connected to the power station. Here we go. That's called interference. You'll learn. So the data wires are in there, and now not only I guess who just brought out a phone company, a cell phone service. It's not that one. It's called Xfinity. They just brought out a wireless cell phone service now to go with their cable, phone, and internet and wireless service provider. I got a hell of a fucking advertisement the other day. It was a good one. And they use this purple color. It's like light purple instead of magenta. Like I don't know who's using magenta. T-Mobile uses magenta. Who else is in magenta? Is it Verizon? It's one of the cell phone providers. They use magenta, and this one is in a purple color, and it says it's a service with a boom. It doesn't get any better, Xfinity. It doesn't get any better. It's like paying homage to the booms of the light in the sky. It doesn't get any better. So now I got some issues with the data wires. And the data wires, this one is a hard one to figure out because the reason why it's hard to figure out is they say when you use the internet, it's coming through the data wires and coming into your house through the node. The node goes to the phone wire, and the phone wire goes to the Wi-Fi router, and you get the internet back and forth on your phone right there, and it's wireless. But now I leave the house and I go out into the middle of the woods, and there's no data wires there. And I still have full access to that live stream, and more importantly, that application on Androids called Gemini on a live stream. How is this working? What are the frequencies? And now this is a very powerful artificial intelligence. For those who are normies and very ignorant, they have no clue what that's doing to their phone. No clue. But to people who comprehend electricity and what a carrier signal is and how damn near that power company is the phone company and how to change the harmonics, and then the bull crap going around in the sewer lines, chimneys and HVAC, the stuff we don't want to talk about. The sewer lines go from house to house. Who's responsible? I'll leave them work. We'll just let them know that the water lines are being repaired. We're getting new water lines, and they go from house to house, just like the gas lines connect house to house to house to house. And that's what you would call the old phone line system, right, Mr. Bush? We have a problem in the oil fields with this, don't we? Yes, sir, huh? Why is it so difficult for other human beings that have a position within the field to comprehend this? Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult? And this was happening a long time ago, and it's got to the point where if I can't show you on a circuit board, if it's not on that circuit board, they're gonna say they do not know. But it was done before a circuit board was created. Kind of like the human body. When you eat something you have a fucking static pressure in there, and it has to transform. And like the brain, the eyeballs, and shit. These are like, okay, I'll show you again. You have the main lines up there, and there's another set of lines here. I can't see if I'm getting it, but they say that steps down to 240 volts. But the sun's out and it's hot, so it probably went up. SCADA system, are you picking this one up? So it drops down to that 240 volts. And it's up there to 13,000 volts. Or whatever the numbers are. Who the hell knows what the numbers are? Like, you'll never, that's, hunting those numbers down is worse than hunting the numbers down for fucking submarines 20,000 feet below the sea. Where was I, dude? I started talking about the voltage raising from the sun and the transformative process where it steps down, comes to the service, 240 volts, and then it goes to the circuit breaker, which is literally a phone line. The same thing as a service line. That phone line's doing the same thing, except for that phone line, they say, is coming in pulse width modulation at a decibel pressure of what? What's the dB level of fiber optics? Decibel pressure. That's lightning and thunder in the sky, like a speaker out of thin air. But boom, says Xfinity. You'll learn. You better pay attention for echoes. It's spyware. Now, that's a natural transformer in the sky. Just like the human. The human, it holds the same magic as the magic here. That magic you see there is here. And I'm not even going into the new realm of opportunities, but if they can't see it on that circuit breaker or that circuit board, and a lot of guys call this firmware, and they are reporting this in the field, it's time for them to catch up. Because the viruses that are being created, just like a computer gets sick, the human transformer gets sick too. So I don't know where else to go. I just kind of got my point across. The echoes seem to kind of stop because there's a satellite reflective antenna in between those houses too, and that dish network area. There could be interference, destructive interference. And it would pay to pay attention to that, I guess you could call it. But when you work in silence, okay, when people work in silence, now it could go either 1 or 0, can it? And that's like a silent superposition, because a good painter, they say when they paint a picture, it says 1,000 words. And that picture is not doing anything, but it's remaining silent, right? But it's a visible light communication. Just like the human has visible light communication coming off of it, and it could be picked up by fiber optic sensors. It's called a security perimeter with fiber optics. Picks up dBs. And what are the dBs? 0.00025. Ambient air pressure is 40 dB. Airplanes dB pressure up here on the runways just whoo. That's called interference. And boy, that's what they call heterodyning your brain. Now back to the major issues of silence. That picture says 1,000 words. Thousands. Even more than like a trillion frames per second. Thousands. Every trillion frames, there's 1,000 words in every frames. In every frame. Because throughout the day, the sun's changing, the magnetic field's changing, so the words change on the reception of the human that watches and observes this. Can you imagine an artificial intelligence giving you a goddamn description of a picture throughout the day? Throughout the day, I want you to say something every minute about this picture. What's it going to do? There's one of these large language models that's trillions of dollars for proprietary scepters worth of fucking intel. Throughout the day and the sun changes in there, it's going to say something different every time, isn't it? Better than a human can too, huh? And the artificial intelligence is literally a human brain packed inside of a fucking cell phone. And we don't know if the brain can be hacked. Duh! So silence may be your best option. Until I start stealing cable, and I want to see if you can catch me. Because it's not harming anyone. But it's what? Stealing. Racketeering. Isn't this just wonderful? Isn't this just wonderful? Now, any right-mind human being would be like, why don't you call me up, dude? I got this number for you to call. What the fuck's going on? Instead, it's silence. So there's a cybersecurity company that watches this guy and does his job in the internet. And they call this the quasi-static covert communications group. Like, it should be illegal for a third party to back up my internet. The third party security system, they know more than Verizon? Your product sucks. If you're saying it's just going to get exploited, is that good enough? Hey, birds, how you feeling? It's getting hot. The sun's out. It's right at max power. And it feels like there's a parabolic effect right here. You guys familiar with a parabolic effect? Listen to the birds. Their tone has changed. Wow. Wow. Look at this speaker here. I just caught this for the first time. That's a hell of a fucking speaker right here. And it wasn't visible light communications. So for that octave to get there, is it coming down or is it going up off the metal magnetic capacitor? Right where the bird landed too. Right where the bird landed. And it had yellow in it, a little bit of green. You should have seen the speaker dispersion. It looked like it was holding a magnetic field. Holy shit, and there's echoes coming from all the way up here. There's like a millimeter wave speaker going right over there. So who's responsible for that? What's an acoustic camera? Now this is important to kind of film who's driving by right now. Kind of important because they say the computer chips in the car is the onboard. What is it? What's the computer chip in the car called? Oh, the onboard memory, whatever it is. But the cars that drive by that connect with the grid on Wi-Fi GPS and local GPS and Garmin GPS and radar, the whole cloud, the cloud accelerator that they're fucking building. And then if I swap your phone out and say your data is my data, now we got a problem. Because now the data and the timing and the Doppler effect is so screwed up. And it's allowing for unwanted visitors, and they call them aliens. We sent a lot of them back to Mexico, Canada. None of them are allowed from North Korea. No one from North Korea is allowed here. And like, it's just to get below a 5th grade reading level. Like, the newspapers are based on a 5th grade reading level. Now I'm going to drop the pay grade below that. Because the guys that are above a 5th grade reading level pay grade, wow, are they really running laps. And they called in what? Protect your service provider's network. Boy, what a scam. It's as bad as saying the word medical. You think it's just like a radio going off and shit. Just the radio going off. There's so much pressure coming this way from up here. Plus I got lines. There's so much pressure coming this way to push it over there. So much. And then it's going to come from back here and pull back. And then they got a static, a band effect. I could take a rubber band and twist it and show you. And it creates a filter. Oh my goodness. Hey, Starlink. Hey, Starlink, beam it down, would ya? Beam it down, Starlink. Or Bezos, whatever you are, Amazon. I don't know what they're going to say about that because you're cutting them out, huh? Get the hell out of here. Because they don't want to talk. They want to be silent. Boy, that cut over there like a pointed source of acceleration. And it's all being recorded, too. Because of that fiber optic line that's picking up dBs. That's my money. Makes me wonder why he was in the box. This one here is called the United States District Court. The state doesn't want to pick it up. So we'll just go sniff the smart dust up down there at the courthouse. The dust that gets in the cable boxes on the firmware and pulls out the magneto, dielectrics. Oh yeah, we got optical cameras now coming right out of the cable box. Follows you around. Goes through the sewer lines. Tell your boss about it too. Tell him to come talk to me. Tired of the public information being treated as like it's from Uranus. A space-faring civilization. And to say the least, you know, remember Butler whenever Trump come here? Remember when Trump come here from in Butler, Pennsylvania the first time? The federal gag order on Trump, don't talk. Kind of explains it. It's public information. Okay. How long has this been going? 25 minutes. I seriously just canceled timeout and spoke for 25 minutes. Like it was nothing. You hear it? Pay attention to the echo. I'll turn around. Pay attention to the echoes. Pay attention to the echoes. Yeah, I'm a cybersecurity expert. That's the problem. You don't know what that means. You're ignorant. Look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Who's this? Okay. Uh-oh. Did you hear the backup beeper probe? You're right there at that antenna on the gutter. Hey, my man. There's a specific term called alien vibration. You see that ground wire over here? I'm going to just talk. There's that ground wire by that box you were in. There's a little spiral piece on that ground wire. You ask yourself, why is that there? It's a little loud. It's a little loud. It's a little loud. It's a little loud. The diesel motor that just discharged with the whatever the. There's like a parabolic filter here. It's a little loud. It's a little loud. It's a little bit loud. I gotta keep it moving, keep static pressure moving, but it's got muscle memory now too, and an optical cortex here. This is why it's very bad, and because it's memory, 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 memory. Okay, and I'm gonna give you the answer why there's that little spiral thing on the ground support. It prevents vibration, and vibration is voltage. It's called dielectric. It is there to prevent a scalar vortice from opening and creating a point A to point B communication with no in between. The stuff you can't see. All right, let's be the hero here, but use hate as a very polar advantage. You know who else is a good observer? You know who else is a good observer? Probably one of them U.S. District Courthouse people. They gotta be a good observer. They gotta be a good public speaker. And they gotta be such a good public speaker that they... what's this? They have to be such a good public speaker. They have to be such a good public speaker that they have to attenuate the attention of other attention spans of human cognitions. That is the job of an observer in the United States District Court, whether it be a prosecutor or a defender. Some of these guys are good, huh? And every word out of my mouth to you, this is in your office too. So it's like I'm already in there, huh? It's like someone like me is already in there. When you know what, just take me to the goddamn airport and put me down there with the burnt pretzel rod fucking dipped in honey mustard sauce. And there's a lot more of them running around too. Where the hell are they at? That's where I'm supposed to be. Westinghouse, what the hell's the matter with you? Like, the guy that invented the lines said you guys had a disease 100 years ago. He called it a disease. Now we call it a virus. Now we call it malware and fucking Trojans and Stuxnet. This is the disease you started 100 years ago, Westinghouse. You got people running around with no hair. They burn off. Someone profited off of them burning their hair off. Sons of bitches. Okay, you gotta pay attention here. These guys just do this in plain sight and pretend like nobody can fucking care for anything in the world. I've been going for a while. This is a very long video, but it's kind of an important one. It's very important. I gotta stop moving. I gotta try to stand still, because I stand still, the tone changes. And since my cell phone has a heart tracker on it, and it gets my heart rate with the camera alone, you gotta pay attention. He's driving by. This is important because a line was broke here. And they want to get back in. I don't know if it's a Department of Defense issue, an FBI issue, or a Pentagon issue. Because there's unsecure phone lines at the Pentagon. And I'm explaining to you how it works. And you're going to be like, I don't know. And people are fighting over AI like it's goddamn flies on shit. I did forget to get the sewer lines in on the last video. Here's another good video I got too that correlates perfect with this. Absolutely perfect. And if there is an issue going on with people and they don't report what the hell's going on with their skin, this skin shit where the decibel pressures are coming off. Like, can you imagine a dB of an optical terminal network going through the data wires? That's like the data wires, okay? And there's lasers in the boxes and there's lasers in the house. And it sends these pulses, like, how many per second? 5 billion? 6 billion? 10 billion? How many pulses? That's what I gotta ask the dude. How many pulses per second? And then them pulses per second create a sound. Yeah, sound right in the wires. They call it a sound because it's a decibel pressure. The most important thing on a planet is light and decibel pressure. Most important thing to help you understand what the hell's going on. Everything is light and decibel pressures. And there's some forms of light that escape decibel pressure. And they don't create what we would call a receivable signal unless you are at that point A or point B, unless you know how to get in there on C once A and B are established. This is what I